It's not expired. I don't even know what you're even talking about. Yo, y'all already know what it is. What it is, what it is, and what it's always gonna be. Now, I've been, I ain't gonna hold you. I've been in my bag. Straight up. I've been in my bag. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, I've been in my bag, you know. And it all comes from hard work. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? It ain't for the weak. You know what I'm saying? I've been in my bag, and a lot of times people I think a lot of times people don't understand the blessings that they have when they find love. Like, real shit. When you find love, like real genuine love, when you find real genuine love, everything works out the way it's supposed to work out. And even when people, they doubt you, you know, when you find love, it is a beautiful thing when it's real love. Not that made up bullshit that they tell you about on TV and shit like that, you know. I took a lot of losses. You know what I'm saying? As I look back, this time last year was probably one of the hardest years that I ever had to go through, because I don't know, man. I took too many L's last year. I ain't gonna hold you. I took a lot of L's last year, and to this day, it still don't sit right with me. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't because I'm bitter, or you know what I'm saying. I want that shit back or nothing like that. It's just that I took too many L's, and now when I think back a year later, I'm in a better headspace than I was a year ago. A year ago, you know, I went through some of the craziest shit, you know what I'm saying? Men don't fear getting married. I think men, we fear divorce. You know, I'm here tonight to let you know that if you did get married and you took an L in it, it ended in a divorce, you know what I'm saying? You definitely shouldn't let that first loss veto that second chance. You know what I'm saying? I definitely came in with a different mindset of, damn, you know, my marriage ended a lot sooner than I thought it would. But that pain, man, that pain that I went through, everything that I went through built me. It built me for something better. You know what I'm saying? It built me for something better. You know what I'm saying? When I can say that. You know what I'm saying? It built me for something better. When I went through that shit, man, and like I said, every year around my birthday, it doesn't get easy because it was my anniversary, and it was my birthday the day after each other. So every year this shit don't get easy, but I think this year has been last year I dreaded this birthday. I dreaded the 20th of November. I dreaded the 21st of November. I ain't want no parts of nothing to do with either one of those days last year. You know, I just went through it. This year, I'm in a better spirit. I'm in a better mind. Last year was the worst year of my life. 2024 was the worst year of my life. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, right? Dating is fluid. Marriage is concrete, right? That's what they tell us. You know, when you get married, you merge your debt, your property, and your future, right? You're supposed to, at least. Your screw up in a marriage isn't just an argument, it's legal. You know what I'm saying? When you screw up and decide it doesn't work, it's a cost. You know what I'm saying? Because now, it goes to a legal, costly division of assets. You know what I'm saying? You do have more leeway to mess up in a relationship because there is no legal tie. You could screw up, and you can screw up more in a relationship than you can in a marriage. Marriage requires discipline from day one. Like you ought to know better. You know what I'm saying? You ought to know better. So, I think what it is, man, you ought to know better. So, I know how sometimes you can get away with shit more in a relationship than you can in a marriage. In a marriage, you gotta know everything. You gotta be on point. You gotta be on point. Everything that you do has to be on point. When I got married, I thought that I was ready. There was a lot of things that went on that told me I was not ready. And then there was a lot of things that told me that I was ready. And as I healed from that, I learned a lot. Like, you got to look at it like this too. A lot of times people don't give you credit for the shit that you do. When you take that step, you know what I'm saying? Again, when you get married, you got to be disciplined from day one. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between a relationship. A relationship, you could just walk away. And yeah, you're going to hurt, but you're going to walk away with everything that you came with. When you get married, depending on how that marriage is ending, you got a lot of bitter, vindictive people that want to take everything that you got or half of everything that you got. The trauma is deep when it's over. You know what I'm saying? Because you signed that contract and it was meant to be eternal. And when it does end, it makes you feel like a failure. And I'm just speaking for me. It made me feel like a failure because this was the one thing that I was supposed to get right. And I hated that I didn't get it right. But it just showed me that it wasn't with that person. A breakup is painful, whether it's divorce, you know what I'm saying? But a divorce is a public ceremonial failure. You know what I'm saying? The trauma is deeper because you invested your entire vision into it. You know what I'm saying? You face judgment from friends, family, your whole social media timeline. The finale in that is that when we feel the second time we do this, you're scared because now, damn, this ended terribly. You know what I'm saying? So now a lot of times people get scared because they like, man, I don't know if I could do that again. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could take that step again. I don't know if not me. I always felt like, now, next time I take this step, I'm going to be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? You start to lose yourself when you feel like you failed. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you'll never recover, that your time was wasted. Many people, they tie their entire identity to the success of their marriage. You know what I'm saying? When the marriage fails, they feel like they failed as a person. That was me. You know what I'm saying? It was an event. And it was an event. It's not your identity, though. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't feel like you tied to a marriage because you're still an individual regardless. You just a being now. You were a whole person before and after a marriage certificate. You know what I'm saying? You need to separate the title from the person sometimes. And that's what I had a hard time doing. You know what I'm saying? People are less forgiving in marriage than they are in dating. So in dating, we forgive small mistakes because we think that they'll change. In marriage, we hold every mistake up to standard. Like, small errors become evidence of unsustainability. The love is expected to be unconditional. The forgiveness is transactional, though. You start scorekeeping every action, every mistake, everything that goes on in a marriage, and that plans for people to start looking for their exit plan. In a relationship, it's like, all right, cool. You screwed up, I screwed up. At the end, we can shake hands and walk away. In marriage, it's not so easy. It's not so easy. It's extremely hard to do that in a marriage because this is your person. This is your person. Marriage brutally exposes all the assumptions you were too scared to discuss while dating. You start opening up and seeing things in a marriage that you didn't see in a relationship. All the unspoken rules and assumptions, you know what I'm saying, you have about money, sex, and future planning, and it get brutally exposed in a marriage. That contract demands clarity. If you didn't have the tough talks while dating, marriage forces you to have those talks in the middle of a war. I swear to you. There was a lot of things that I did not notice, that I did not discuss, that I did not talk about. It was a lot of things that, I went through emotionally that just fucked my whole mind up. It fucked my whole brain up. I ain't gonna hold you. And like I said, if you didn't know marriage, if you didn't know this person in marriage, like before you got married, you definitely was gonna know this person in marriage. Now you ain't got no choice but to know them, because everything that you about to do, everything that you about to embark on, everything that you was too afraid to say while y'all was dating. Listen, marriage forced you to go through that shit. The first marriage, if you got divorced, you failed the communication test. Y'all didn't communicate enough. But don't let it steer you away from thinking, that's the end of the line. You realize that y'all was a mismatch. That the failure was a mismatch. It was not a character flaw. Sometimes the fit is just wrong. That's okay. You wouldn't stay in the wrong job for 10 years, so why stay in the wrong marriage? If you are not happy, if they're not doing their part to make you happy, free yourself. That wasn't your purpose. That partner wasn't your purpose. That wasn't your partner. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't your person. It's just that simple. It doesn't. And then that frees you up to start looking for your person. Cause I ain't gonna hold you. That was not my person. And the more I think about it, the more I just thank God that I was smart enough to get on up out of there. You know what I'm saying? The biggest fear as a man to me is you marrying the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? You marrying the wrong person, and you marrying the wrong person again. Like, you already did that. You already got married and it didn't work. Now, my biggest fear now is, it ain't that getting married again is not a fear for me. It's getting married to the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? You won't though, because you smarter. Don't let the ghost of the first marriage veto your joy of the second one. You know what I'm saying? The fear is not an anchor. And if it is anchoring, if it is pulling you down, you need to cut it loose. You know what I'm saying? But the only time that you fear that is because you refuse to learn lessons from the first one. You know what I'm saying? My divorce was the most expensive, most painful education of life that I ever had, because it taught me so much. Like, I lost a lot of money. I came out of that shit. I came into that shit with some money. I came out of that shit with little to nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even, because I had to take over a lease by myself that I truthfully didn't want anymore, because so much bad had happened in that space. I ended up having debt. I didn't gain by myself, but because I tied my name to it, I had to keep that done. It was expensive. It was expensive to move on. You know what I'm saying? They don't tell you that. It was expensive to move on. I left with everything that I came with, but it was expensive to move on. You know what I'm saying? If you just jump right back into dating without doing the audit of the person that you dating, you are guaranteed to repeat the same failure. You know what I'm saying? You must use everything that you learned, all the data that you learned, and you build non-negotiable boundaries for the next attempt. Like I always said, marriage ain't the fear for me no more. It's just the fear of dealing with the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? I use divorce as the ultimate learning experience though. It really taught me a lot, like how to control things and how to control my emotions with certain things. My biggest issues in marriage was, just communication, commitment, because there was a lot of times I wasn't committed and I didn't care if it failed or it succeeded. And I think naturally, just at times just feeling like, yeah, this is a lost cause, you know. And then you got to think about it too, like I had a wandering eye, they had a wandering eye, but I think with me I acted out more on it than they did. So, you know, I think I let a lot of shit get to me. It was a lot of immaturity going on, you know. Now what I've done is I used all of that to like build myself in my mind a better relationship in my mind. Like the next go round, I told myself like the next go round, it ain't gonna be like that, because what up? Shout out to everybody popping in, man. What up? A lot of people get married, but a lot of people don't understand what comes with marriage. A lot of people don't understand what comes with relationships. Like I said earlier, if you don't have them communication, that shit that you got in a relationship, when you get married, that shit's going to come out. Because in a relationship, you might feel like, you know what, I could take this. When you get married, you don't get no leeway to fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Even now in relationships, you can fuck up a lot in relationships because it's like on the job training. When you get married, that is it. Like there's no on the job training for that shit. That is it right there. Whatever you go through, that is it. Like you don't get no leeway to screw up. Real shit. You don't get no leeway to screw up in marriage. Melissa, what up? A lot of times self-work is mandatory. You gotta heal. You gotta heal. When a relationship ends, when you're going through divorce, whatever, you gotta heal before you try to run and jump to the next person. You can't jump straight from the trauma of a divorce or a bad breakup and, you know, rushing to the excitement of the second one. You gotta heal. You know what I'm saying? And there are people out there that might can heal you, but you got to heal yourself first. Take it from me. I listen. I tried to jump from relationship to relationship or somebody bed to bed, and that shit did nothing but fuck me up even more. You know what I'm saying? You could go to therapy. You could rebuild your self-worth. You could do all of that. You must be whole before you invite somebody else to join your life. Real shit. You know what I'm saying? And take your time. See me, I think I jumped into marriage. So now my mind frame is I want to date longer. I want to get a deeper feeling. The second time around, you know what I'm saying, this interview process is longer for me. You know what I'm saying? I demand a lot more because I know where I just came from. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I ain't gonna get it right. There's a lot of times I don't get it right, man. I've done wrong. I've done a lot of wrong, man. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I was the most perfect dude. I ain't make no mistakes. I ain't finna sit here and act like that. I know where I fuck up at. The problem with that is, though, once you know where you fuck up at and you try to change, people don't hold you to that standard of you trying to change. They still feel like you gonna fuck up and it's only a matter of time. So they don't give you grace. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people date with their brain first and their heart second after a breakup. And that's where I'm at. Like, I don't think with my heart at first. I'm thinking with my brain. I feel like if I see red flags, I'm gonna mention them and then we gonna sort it out. But if we don't sort it out, I can't deal with it. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't leaving nothing to chance. You know, if I ever cross that line again, which I feel like I will, it's gonna be, we're gonna have a conversation on how we handle money, how we handle conflicts. This is how, you know, we handle things. Clarity protects commitment. So if we clear on everything that we trying to do, having clarity prevents another breakup, another divorce, because you know exactly what you're looking for. You know, I think a lot of times people don't put they relationships above everything else. That's where another error that I made in my life, and I'm still trying not to make. People don't put their relationship. We could try to put family and relationships and the kids and building and all that. We could try it, But again, if we ain't, you know what I'm saying, all in, we gonna fail. We gonna fall straight on our face. Sometimes I'm guilty of that. You know, sometimes I'm guilty of you know how many times I done failed in the last 5 years, and I still be trying to, you know what I'm saying, knock walls down and rebuild my name and rebuild my foundation because it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? The foundation that we discuss, like respect, loyalty, intentionality, like these are non-negotiable for me. I'm not negotiating none of that. Like if you can't respect me, we ain't gonna be together. If you disloyal, we ain't gonna be together, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Marriage is like water and sand. You got to build that foundation every day, though. You got to take that risk to love again. A major loss, loving again after a major loss is not foolish. It's just you got to have the courage to get out and do it. You know what I'm saying? Your desire to love again, to try again, is proof that you still believe in love. There's people out here right now that are yelling, oh, nah, I ain't never getting in another relationship. I ain't never getting married. I've been hurt. I've been played. But you got to understand, them people might just wasn't for you. Some people just wasn't for you. The next time you even consider letting somebody love you, go for it. Let them love you. I know pain and all that shit. I know all that is, you know, I know that's deep, you know. Whoever comes in your life now should admire all the lessons that you learned because you put it on the table. Like you left a bad situation to find better. You know, the right partner views your history as wisdom, not baggage. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of times we get baggage and we go through shit and we don't want to put it off on the next person, but the next person should understand, hey, I fucked up. I made mistakes. It happens. Don't ever think your mistakes don't happen, because everybody goes and makes mistakes, man. Straight up. You guys cursing each other out, saying the most hateful, slanderous, downright bogus ass shit to each other. And y'all got to understand that y'all, if the love is real, you maybe get a few of those. But real love ain't that. That ain't love. Love ain't back and forth, arguing, fighting. You spend a lot more time trying to find a solution than sitting here yelling at the top of y'all brains, man. Because that shit don't get people far. The biggest thing, you got to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you made and the time you wasted. You did the best you could, right? So the breakup, like I said, is an event. It's not your identity. You are worthy of great love no matter how many times, how many relationships, how many people come around. You are worthy of it. And when you find it, you just find it. Take your time. Straight up. Take your fucking time. Stop letting society tell you what a real fucking relationship is, because their relationship is not yours. And you talking to somebody, like I said, I've been married. I've been the baby daddy. I've been the side nigga. I've been, you know what I'm saying, the friend zone. I've been all these things. So I know marriage is the highest form of commitment, and failure in marriage is painful, but the pain is not it's not permanent. It's your permission to be smarter. All right, you got bit before. Now I'm wiser now. I know not to go around that dog because I don't want to get bit. So now you got to be more intentional this time around. The real explanation for all of this is simple. The true measure of your worth isn't whether you got it right the first time. It's the courage to learn from the loss and get it right the second time with more wisdom. Your desire is to try again. Like, don't ever let bad love stop you from thinking that love ain't a real thing. Like you are not able to be loved. Don't ever let nobody fuck you over to the point. No, you just wasn't able to be loved by them. That's it. You wasn't able to be loved by them. Somebody tell me all the time, it's them. They got to find out what's attracting them to, you know what I'm saying, fucked up people. It ain't you. Not all the time. There might be some times that it might be you, but I don't think bad people attract good people. I don't think bad people attract good people. I think we talked about this the other night with the narcissistic rehab. We talked about this. Sometimes people just take advantage of people's hearts. They tug at their heartstrings because they know that person ain't going nowhere. So they think they can get away with it. But a lot of times that person might just need you more than they let known to be, they might need you more than what they can say. A lot of times people don't know how to talk about their feelings. People don't know how to express themselves. People don't know how to love, or you know what I'm saying? They don't know. So a lot of times you might be needing them more than they need you, and they just don't know how to say it. I don't always get along with people, but I try. I'm at this phase right now where I am trying my hardest to be the best person I can be. I'm a hard ass sometimes. I've done my share of lies. I've done my share of cheating. I've done my share of disrespect. I've done those things. And then now I look back in the mirror and it's like, yo, I'm ashamed that I went through this shit. I'm ashamed that I put myself through this shit. I'm ashamed that I put people that I truly, genuinely love and care about through this shit. So eventually you'll have an epiphany and you'll fix it. You know what I'm saying? Whether they give you grace or not to fix it, that's up to you. But it all depends on the work and how much work you put in. Real shit. Like, the work ain't never done. No matter what level of relationship you on, friendship, situationship, marriage, dating, serious, it doesn't matter. Whatever level, the work ain't never done. Marriage bit the fuck out of me. I ain't gonna hold you. And I said, all right, I don't believe it's my last time. I believe I'll get married again. I believe that shit. And I believe this time I'll be a lot better. But I ain't get on here to be on here long, man. Listen, y'all already know what it is. January 10th, I got my first ever live podcast live in Chicago. I'm taking it to the hometown, man. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. I'll be getting all that information together tomorrow. I'm pushing to get the tickets released tomorrow for sure. And then in February, we spinning the block. We gonna have a live show out in St. Paul, Minnesota. Details on that is coming soon. So I think for me, like I said, it's cool to be on the internet. That's cool. But I'm more of a see me in person kind of person. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that in real life too. I don't like sitting on the phone. I don't like talking on the phone. See me in person. Especially if we in the same area. See me in person. I don't like sitting on the phone, bro. I feel like you could see me in person. I feel like you gotta see me. You gotta come see me. I gotta come see you. You know what I'm saying? But y'all already know what it is, man. I got shit to do. Tomorrow, I turn 26. Nah, man. This time last year, I hated last year. I hated 2024. I ain't gonna hold you. It was like the worst year of my life. I hated that shit. You know what I'm saying? I got married a day before my birthday. I didn't have not one good anniversary, not one good birthday in that marriage. And last year I hated November 20th and November 21st. I hated it. This year though, oh, we out here. We out here this year. I got some shit that I'm trying to get done. I'm really just gonna be in the lab talking y'all ear off. But I got some shit that need to be done. It's some shit that need to be done. So y'all already know what it is, man. I got some shit to get done. I'll be back out here tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. I think about it. Love is life, man. Love your life. And if you got somebody out there that you love, that you respect, and that you adore, tell them that. Don't be afraid. Tell them that shit. Stop playing with their head. Stop playing mind games. Tell them what you feel. Say it with your chest. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'll catch y'all I'll catch y'all. I ain't even post the cash app. Did I post the cash app? It don't even matter. I'll holler at y'all, man. I'm out. You ready? I'll explain all this later live. It ain't just a moment. It is the moment. See you soon.